Hey everyone, how you doing? This is my weekly live on Sundays, 12 Pacific, which would be 3 Eastern. Hope everybody has had a good weekend, as Sundays is the end of that, especially afternoon, and people are typically pretty much, as a lot of people here from Central and Eastern and all that, a lot of you guys are even starting to wind down your weekend and getting ready for work or what have you. And some people not. Some people don't work on Mondays, whatever it be, but let's see here. Let's get this speaker in here. It's lavalier. See here how many people I've got. So I've got 4 and 1 like. Can we match those up? So Playmaker, JW Speaker, if you decide to watch the movie, oh, how you doing, Tim Holmes? It's awesome to see you here, man. So JW Speaker, I mentioned your name 3 times. I said JW twice and then JW Speaker the third time. So I eventually got to saying your actual name. Putting in the microphone, guys. I'm just gonna mute for a second to do that. Right, I didn't want to give you guys any crazy sounds, so there we go. I know to double check that the mic is in properly because sometimes I've gone silent from that. There we go. So I actually have determined this is something I've kind of been looking at for a while. I found out I already had an account, so like for Guinness, so that's how long I've been looking into it because it was like that is not something I did in the last couple of years to make an account. I was like, I must have at least done this back in like 2016 or prior because I don't even remember making it because I looked into it. I'm like, oh, I already have an account. So yeah, so I want to get a Guinness record, guys. I know this might sound crazy to some of you. Like you're like, how are you gonna get a Guinness record? I'm gonna do it. I can't say is it gonna be this year or next year, but I've got to. I'm not to that point yet, but I mean I'm definitely like it to be next year. So I've got to think out something here. What can I do? What's like maybe like a skill or something like that I just really love that I would actually want to work at, something that's super fun. Like some people have those dominoes things, which sounds super expensive and super time consuming. I don't think I'm doing any of those. There's a specific word for those types of traps and stuff where it's like a general phrase for like when you have one thing hit the other thing. It's a. Mm. Well, anyway, don't think I'm doing. I don't want to do anything to that extent. Something that costs maybe under $1,000. Maybe something that's more like time consuming. I'm not sure. Maybe I would do something that's a couple $1,000s if it's really awesome. So let's see here. I'm going to read your comments in just a moment. I have to get up the live on the computer. Doesn't see here. That's why. There we go. Checking the sound. Okay, my camera. See, I I need to do this. Let's see here. There we go. Let's see here. All right. And down a little bit. All right, cool. A little too much. All right, cool. So let's see here. I'm going to check all the comments. See here. Question out of curiosity: what branch? I was in the Marines. I used to actually be wandering Marine veteran. I changed the name because there was a lot of ambiguity and such. Because people thought like Marine, they thought of like aquatics or, and then when you go into other languages, even if someone speaks English, they might not know all the different significances of words. And there's tons of definitions. Like Marine could be a lot of things. So that, and then veteran also confuses people. Even in US, a lot of people don't know what veteran means. A lot of people ask me all the time, "Oh, wandering veteran, are you still in the military?" and things like that. So I think wandering veteran's a little quicker to say, a little easier than. So I simplified it a little bit. Had switched out my name a little bit. I think I'm gonna stay with this name for a good while unless I find something really good. As I'm not really big yet, I don't think switching my name matters too much. Yeah. Starting school next week. That's awesome, Playmaker. School doesn't start for a month here. Haven't watched the last one all the way. Right on. Right on. JW. Let's see here. Navy. Awesome. So, yeah. So, we got some similarities going on there. Guinness. Not that Guinness. Luke North, I plan to get it, I think the 26th is when I plan to get my mail. So let's see, what day is that? That is, so yeah, about 8 days I'll be able to get my mail. So yeah. Getting like a day bus pass thing going on. And so I think that'll get me around for the day next week. All right. But I might be able to actually make it out there this week. I'll see, because I might have a bike now, and so it's like, we'll see. Oh yeah, as far as that meetup, I totally wanted to be there so badly, but guys, don't worry too much, because I know a ton of you weren't able to go. I do. Hey Jaime, uh, I I'm definitely going to make some type of meetup. I'm not. It's probably not going to be to the proportions of theirs, where they probably, I don't know what attendance they had. I'm guessing 100 people. Haven't really seen any good group photo. Like I've seen some like photos and little videos from the meetup, but I didn't see anything that really showed the full audience. So I can't really say how big it was. It's I know there are some methods to counting people. You basically, this is what the news uses. You go by a certain square footage, but I couldn't even see the full crowd, so I don't even know what the square footage is, so I can't even multiply it. So if I at least got one kind of like row down, and I could see if you can do it without the dimensions. So let's see here. But anyway, the meetup I'll do. Maybe we'll see how big it is. It's not that far in plans. I've looked into it pretty seriously. I was hoping to do it for this year. It's no way it's happening this year at this point, but I definitely see it. Yeah, I can totally foresee it happening next year. And I think what I'm going to do, if I can't get a big one for next year, like 100 plus people, I'll just say, okay, I can't manage the 100 this year, but what I'll do is I'll do um, something that would get like maybe more local people. Like I think I could get Smitty, uh, some people like that, you know. Hopefully Smitty can come. He doesn't even know he's directly invited, but he's like totally within my region, so I'm not sure how feasible it is for him. But you know, someone who's kind of like regional, maybe I could get those people. As opposed to, I don't think I'm gonna have anyone flying from Germany. I mean, that'd be pretty cool, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Probably realistically, we're probably looking at something, you know, renting out a restaurant, you know, something a little more affordable. And we could do that for, you know, just one day of the restaurant, or you know, something like that, or an event hall or whatever. There's actually some places I can access even for free, maybe to do that kind of meetup. So maybe that would make it much easier and quicker. And if that were the case, I don't think even advertising for this year though would get me enough people. So yeah, let's see here. Go into all the comments. How you doing, Master Arts? Awesome to see you. Tim Holmes, awesomeness. Let's see here. It's wiped. Having chances to talk to you guys. That's awesome. Okay. How many old MREs did you take home with you? Yeah, I was wondering how many old MREs did you guys get? I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be so focused on old MREs, but I guess what I've kind of come to realize is that there's only 24 menus at one time. So if you want to get more MREs, you just have to go old, and that's just how it is. If you're talking about actual military MREs, and it seems to be what people are more fascinated about. They're not so interested in the civilian stuff. Like I did the Skull Crushers by MRE Nation, and like nobody's buying this. It's not. I mean, they're the same components as the military rations. I think there's a lot of novelty in it, and people are using them for practical purposes. But even still, like, why can't you store a Skull Crusher? I know that it's kind of like a hybrid. It's like kind of halfway between a military and a civilian, just like MRE stars. Sort of halfway between the military and civilian, because it definitely has a lot of the military type influence to it. You know, they worked with the military and all that, so it's kind of a hybrid too. But anyway, the point is that yeah, I just don't see the civilian ones being as popular. So I guess you know you guys haven't focused on those. Thing's broke, guys. I need an actual chair. It's like it keeps slipping right off, so I need to like sew it or something. So it stops doing that for a meanwhile. It's bad. Okay. He's great another way. Alright. 20 plus years. You were in there that long? Got some finds at a flea market. What'd you get? US mess kit from 1944. That's awesome. Hey, how you doing, Fred Thorne? See here. Oh, yeah. if you guys have any like ideas for Guinness records, maybe like something practical, not something like that costs like $10,000, like the world's largest pizza. Although I would totally love to make the world's largest pizza, I don't think I can make that at home. I mean, I don't think it's practical. Like, where am I gonna fit it? Like, it just I mean, if I do like giant slice by giant slice, I mean, I guess it's technically possible, but yeah, I don't think that's it's happening, and it'd be rotten by the time I even get it done. So I don't see that happening. So something like I don't know, affordable. It could take if it's something like I saw there was one like the most toothpicks in a beard. Like I don't have a beard now, but I could totally grow one for 6 months and then put toothpicks in it. I mean, it's not as easy as it sounds, but because I'm sure there's a lot of weed. He was saying it's not about the size of the beard. That the guy who has the record, it's about how you weave it in. So I'm sure that takes like hours upon hours of practice or something. Because you gotta think that other people have tried this and they put good effort into it too. So you have to outdo their good effort with even better effort. So it's never as easy as it sounds, pretty much. So even if it's something that just sounds simple, it's like, oh, I could totally put more toothpicks in my beard. It's like, can you? It's gonna take some serious effort. Okay. CT is wonderful, by the way. I met CT, or at least I thought it was CT. I don't know. Could have been an imposter. Here. Yeah, she sure is. How you doing, Sabine, Caribbean Queen? Ah, saying it out loud, it actually kind of flows pretty nice. I like that name. Sabine, Caribbean Queen. Nice. Hello, Tim Halls. Finally, one guy. Why not that much? The world's largest MRE. JW, I think that you might actually be onto something. I don't know if that's a. So it wouldn't be called MRE. It'd be called like world's largest food ration or something. Like I don't know how would he phrase this, and what would be largest in what way? Like, because I'm sure because I have like I'm sure they have like 365-day drums of food and stuff. So how do we how do I do that? You know, this could even be something at the meetup like I could display, or I don't know if it's an actual object. Or yeah. Yeah, that's not gonna be like Guinness records though, Smitty. Like I'm gonna beat you guys at the pizza eating contest. I mean that's not really a competition, it's just a fact. But I'm not going to be able to eat enough to get a Guinness record for eating the most pizza or something like that. So just more than you guys. I was thinking like he did say CT mentioned CC's, but the problem is we have to eat the same slice sizes and they don't cut correctly. Like their slices are definitely gonna be off by a bit and they have different toppings, and so just don't feel like it's gonna be uniform enough for a real competition. So, because I want to take this serious. So I was thinking maybe something like just something cheap that's uniform, something you can get like 20 boxes and not have a concern about. You know, I mean, 20 boxes, $100, Little Caesars. But I mean, we could do CC's if everyone's willing to get the same type of slice. I mean, that's also possible. But or if like one's like pepperoni, one's ham, and they're cut pretty similar, then it might be fine. But I want something pretty uniform, so you guys know I won that way. Entire pizza fastest? Oh, speed, not quantity. Oh, I don't know. I guess I was thinking of quantity, not speed. I was totally said another way. I don't know. Feel a little less confident on the speed part. I feel more confident on the quantity part about winning. Huh. Because like we can only do one if we do the same day. Because I doubt it's gonna be a 2-day meetup. I mean, some people might stick around for an extra day. Like if I do maybe like a Friday meetup and then people can stay for the weekend. But because like CT, are you still in? Are you still in Simpsonville area? Are there still people there? Them's the rules. Very definitive. All right. Thanks, old man. Hey, exploring my life. How you doing? Shout out to all viewers. Awesomeness. How you doing? Appreciate about yes. I'm going to grab myself a Mexican Coca-Cola because yeah, it's kind of expensive. I mean, not too expensive, but I mean when you compare it to regular Coca-Cola, not that's legit expensive. It's not gonna cost you $5. But yeah. This is the only bottle opener I have, guys. So, is what it is. It's connected to a cooler. It's pretty cool though. It's kind of hard at this angle. I'm just gonna do it normal on the floor. Choop boop. There we go. Camera off. Choop. There you go. Broke the seal up for you. See here. How you doing, J and K? Noob. Yes, these are actually imported from Mexico. You can actually see it right here. Envase exclusivo para refresco 2002, the Coca-Cola company, hecho en Mexico. So, it's pretty cool though, how the design looks. They look different on some of them. I think the other one looked a little different. Let's see. Yeah. Nah, I don't do that. Giveaways on that stuff. I do more food stuff. I don't do anything with like blades or anything like that. It's not my forte, not my niche at all. Hair keeps falling. I'm gonna get a haircut in 2 weeks, guys. Don't worry. It's like, yeah. right before school starts. Well, a few weeks before school starts. What are you waiting on, Zeno? Oh, a package from CT? Hey, CT Smitty, is anyone actually still at the Simpsonville area? Besides the people who obviously stay there, are there actually people who decided to, hey, we'll stay an extra day so we can meet some people there? Because that's something I would have definitely done. I would definitely still be there an extra day. Probably would have came there one day prior and stayed one day extra. Or maybe until Sunday, probably. Depending on the flights. Might be Monday. You know, you get a lot cheaper flights on Tuesday, though. Tuesday is the cheapest, guys, if you didn't know. That's the day to get a flight. But that's not always practical, especially if you balance things like if you already have a home or whatever. Saving $20 does not save you $20 when you're staying an extra night at a hotel or whatever. So, if you're in an Airbnb, sometimes you can cook there and stuff. So, or usually you can cook at Airbnbs. Most, probably 70% have kitchen access. So. I made up the number, guys, but I do feel like it's more than half. It's got to be. Like even when I was in Mexico, Guatemala, Europe, there's probably, for me personally, there was. I always choose kitchen in specific, but vast majority had like kitchen access. So you know. 100 subs I am. P38 can opener yesterday. Yeah, I have one too somewhere. Just don't know where. Oh, I gotta get this on my face somehow. Okay. No. Okay. So awesome. But was everyone still there? Guatemala. But Americans typically say Guatemala. So I'm just saying kind of an Americanized version because I'm speaking English now, so. Right. It is in general cheaper because it's the least popular day. That's how it works. Mondays and Tuesdays for a lot of types of businesses aren't very good at all. Thursday through Saturday are typically the best business days for when it comes to like entertainment type industry or travel, these kinds of things. Now, there's other types of businesses that are totally different, you know, like selling cars and stuff. It's quite different. But I mean, actually, I would imagine even for car dealerships, it would probably be the same concept. They probably are less popular on Mondays. No one's like, ah, I want to buy a car on Monday. You know, they're like, it's Friday, I'm getting a new car. Let's go have the weekend. No, that's more like it. Because a lot of people, when they're getting a new car, they're excited because most people can't afford a car just like that. You know, I would imagine half people either have an old car that has issues or they have a loan. Sometimes they have a loan on an old car that has issues as well, so, you know, people are excited about it. I don't imagine Monday would be the day for that. But some people might be like, you know, I want a not busy day to get a car. I believe I heard that the last day of the month, and there's also specific months as well, Those are the best days, and then there's things like the tax day, because everyone's going there during the tax time, tax season. Sometimes they have special promotions and stuff. But yeah, anyway, what I got. Yeah, Smitty. So if like for example, I was thinking to have the meetup in Portland. Like I'm up to other ideas if something's actually functional, but like Vancouver, Canada. But at the same time, I realize a lot of people probably don't have passports, so probably doesn't work. I just realized that. I realized that in my own sentence very well. Yeah, I would imagine half my audience doesn't have a passport. A solid half would not go to Canada for a meetup. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think about it. But Portland, I feel it's not the worst place to have a meetup because it's you got the coast right there. You just 3 hours from the beach, um, 3 hours from Seattle. So if people want to, I mean, I could do it in Seattle. That would be practical for me. I don't think that'd be too bad. But eh. Portland's not too bad. Like if you don't like city traffic, if you can't handle city traffic in general, then yeah, it might be bad. But Portland's just not that bad for driving. It's not. I wouldn't compare it to a lot of other cities. It's just. It's not gonna be anywhere near your. I don't. I don't feel it's anywhere near like some of the other bigger cities. It's not that huge, and I feel like the people are generally pretty polite when you drive. So, or if you're walking or whatever, that's different. Portland also has one of the best public transportation systems in the country. So you can actually get around in Portland on bus. It's actually practical and possible here. And with Google Maps nowadays, it pretty much tells you what the bus stops and stuff are. I haven't tested personally yet, like how well the bus system works, but I mean, all the results are like it's like number four in the country for bus systems because it's along the West Coast in New York City. New York City's the exception, but generically the West Coast, that's where the bus system's good, and Portland's the West Coast. It's yeah, so you can actually be it's actually practical for people to get around. Plus, I'll have a vehicle, so I can pick up 3 4 people. It's not an issue. And if I do it in the actual city of Portland, you get an airport in the city. Portland's not cheap, but it's not like the highest. It's not. We're not in. It's not like San Francisco or LA or some or actually even Seattle. I believe is also more expensive. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good option as far as a meetup. I mean, I think the yeah, it's a pretty good option. What do you guys think? NYC trains are terrible. You might not like them, and I can totally understand that, Fred Thorne. But when it comes down to actual practicality of the system, is that you can take a vehicle or a transportation vehicle of some sort, be it train, whatever, and get anywhere you want in the city. In the actual Manhattan and such, there's a bus everywhere. There's like no place where you can't get to within the general area. So that's why I say it's such a good transportation system. It might be crowded, I don't deny that. But that's how a lot of transportation systems are. And as far as environmental purposes, that's also a very good thing. A lot of people in crowded spaces equals better fuel use per customer because a bus say takes I don't know what a current bus uses. Let's say a bus uses gets like 10 miles to the gallon, and when it's completely filled, maybe 6. I'm just making up a number here, guys. But so it gets 6 miles to the gallon, but it has 40 people. Well, that means if you were to go per person, I mean, we're talking about a couple hundred miles of transport per person per gallon, so very practical. And same with trains and so on. Fred Thorne, I traveled in New York City this specific year. I did it a couple times within with the last couple of years, but I've actually driven, taken Uber, and train. Did I take bus? I took bus. Oh, I even took the shuttle at the airport there. So I've taken, yeah, pretty much taken all the types of transport. I didn't take an actual taxi, I don't think. No, I didn't take an actual taxi. But I've pretty much taken all the transports. And I would say that the reality is a lot of times those trains are going to be just as fast as those Ubers uh, in reality because the trains may be complicated and confusing, but they're pretty reliable. I said pretty reliable, not super reliable, but they're pretty reliable. They have some very outdated systems that they need to work on, such as they have to gap the distances in the tunnels a bit off because they don't have the modern technology to basically sense properly the other trains. So you have to, use timing and stuff, a little bit old fashioned method, which is not as reliable and not as it's just not practical. They just need to update their system. I watched actually documentaries on the New York City train system, probably like two full ones. Like I'm not even joking. I watched like two of them. Well, some of them were about some of it was about New York, LA and stuff. But actually, you know what? I probably watched like four, if you want to include LA. Yeah, I watched something about Seattle and stuff. Yeah, I actually did that. I travel a lot, so I have an excuse because I was actually using their systems. I didn't use the LA system at all because I completely drove there. Like I entirely drove when I was in LA last. Like I drove in the center of LA. I drove through Hollywood. I drove through all those areas. I didn't honestly feel it was that terrible if you have the patience. Now Hollywood was, when those roads start getting really narrow. But I just didn't. I just don't have that much issue with it. The one I disliked the most, I think, was Denver, Colorado. I think that was the worst city I've ever driven in. And I drove through. I think I might even prefer it over driving in Mexico City, which was extremely more crowded. I just felt like Denver, the way that people drive, I thought it was the worst. I mean, it could just be my experience. It could have been the specific days because I was only drove through there like maybe like 2 days, I guess, of driving in the Denver area. I felt that was the worst, actually. It was the way that people drove, specifically, I felt. That in certain parts of like Orlando, actually, that was another one. Florida. The problem with Florida is I really thought it was the Floridian drivers because of certain people are maybe a little older and they have a little trouble seeing and so on. So I think that is a factor still, but I think the real issue with Florida is that there's so many people with so many driving styles because you have people from Latin America, you have people from New York City, like crazy amount from New York City, and all these things, and you have just an entire mesh of like tourists, and you got people from Europe and stuff coming over as well. And I think that that's what messes up Florida. I think probably during the non-tourist part of the year, whatever months that be, probably winter, not no, sorry, not during winter. Whatever the lowest months are. I guess maybe during the summer then, yeah. No, take that back. I don't know. Whatever months people don't come to Florida, those are probably the best months to drive. Whatever months those are. I was just like summer. Oh wait, people still call it summer because they think. I guess people are always in Florida. Now that I think about it. Okay, sorry guys. I'm gonna look back in the chat. Okay, I'm going to Portland, Oregon, not Maine. So the story of Portland is that um, They were deciding between Boston and Portland, Oregon, and they actually flipped a coin, and Portland won. This is, I believe, to be the real story because I actually read about this and then saw a little video on it, and there were two separate sources. So I believe it actually to be true. I haven't like totally fact checked it. Like I didn't go to like an encyclopedia or something like on that. I actually do for like some medical research stuff. I actually go to some of the real sites, actual research sites. But for a lot of these facts, I don't. And usually they're pretty accurate anyway in the first place. And sometimes encyclopedias are not more accurate than actual user feedback because they have to be very reserved on what they put there. And sometimes it's, even though it doesn't seem like it's supposed to be opinionated, some things in encyclopedias are highly, one way. And sometimes to the point of total fault. So I'm totally going back into the chat now, guys. Okay, so P38. Uh, I'm not skipping anyone's comment. Well, I might skip a few by accident, but besides, let's see here. If I skip a few, it's just either because it seemed like you're saying hey to someone else or something like that. Yeah. So let's see here. This is cheap. Got a 1951 GW, awesome. Oh, I'm also going to be. I'm still looking through the comments, guys. I'm catching back up. I'm also going to make Mexican hot chocolate. Basically, it's like the real style. It's gonna be in a month or two. Just kind of a new idea I've been thinking about. I actually have like 5 videos. Um, Probably more than that. Probably 10 videos now that I don't have up yet. Guadalcanal. I'm not sure what the question is about the Guadalcanal. Sorry. Canada is much better. Say Toronto, Montreal. Uh, that is the very opposite of where I am, Fred. And also, there's things with like taxes and stuff. If I were to do like something business there, so I don't think that Canada works for me. Now, if I were to have maybe a Canadian do it on my behalf or something, like I don't know, we'll see. Like if any of you Canadian guys want to work with me on that, like if I would probably want to contact to do it in Canada. Like I don't know how taxes and stuff would work for that because like when it comes to actual real event, well we'll see. I know Portland would probably be the easiest. JW is into Seattle. Um, let's see here. I mean, I could even do part in Seattle, part in Portland, whatever works. Not taking a train, no Uber. Smitty, it just depends where you are for the faucets, if it's automatic or manual. For note, there's a lot of certain metals and stuff people use for like handles and all that. Those are actually antibacterial, antimicrobial. Um, so people don't realize that's why a lot of doorknobs are metal, and that's why they're not wooden and stuff like that, like ever. And it's not just because of the durability of the material. Of course, with water and stuff. Yeah. Okay, cool. Felt much safer in Mexico City. I don't know. Don't take what I say about Denver too much, because I mean it's just my personal experience on those very specific days. It's just I only drove there 2 days, so I don't feel like I have a very fair opinion on that. But on Florida, I feel like I have a legit opinion. It's just a lot of tourists, a lot of mixture of different driving styles. I think I would put it down to because I feel the roads are amazing. Those are some of the best roads in the country, hands down. Felt safer in Mexico City. I mean, okay. Okay. Jesse Michael, awesome to see you here. I think sometimes when people are traveling, they feel a little too safe, because you're more in danger while traveling for a multitude of reasons, such as the unfamiliarity. Sometimes you get a sense of being confident in one type of thing where you're not thinking about another type of thing that can happen to you or so on. So you guys just have to be very watchful, especially when traveling, even if you're traveling to a relatively safe area, just in general. Not to be paranoid, but you definitely still have to keep your eyes open. How are you doing, Jesse Michael, though? Awesome to see you, yeah. Let's see here. Manhattan, Midtown, Jaded. I'm catching up to the comments, guys, if you're wondering why I'm talking about stuff that happened 2 minutes ago. Let's see here. But automatic is not fully good in other ways as well too. For when it comes to restrooms, however, for bacterial purposes, it seems to be superior, and also for water conservation, if they can, just gear it to be a conservative amount of water. And if you don't look at it for environmental purposes, well, for money as well. If you have a million sinks out there and each one is saving you 100 gallons a year, whatever it is, you know, it really truly adds up. It's one good thing about environmental purposes is a lot of times it is more economical. Sometimes people are like, well, solar panels cost a lot of money. Yes, but they also save you dramatic amount of money. Now, I've been reading some bad things about the really cheap solar panels that are coming out. That they're supposed to be extremely toxic. Um, and that's I'm just talking about the low end cheap ones. And that's a whole thing into conservation, like what type of energy is better, because it's its own whole thing. But either way, end of the day, renewable is kind of the way to go, for a lot of reasons. Now, nuclear also has a very strong push behind it, and certain other developments in technology and stuff. It's very debatable whether that's a better alternative, but regardless, fossil fuels has to go. Not just even if you don't believe in climate change or whatever, not trying to get into that part, but just like in general, it's just not working out for a multitude of reasons when it comes to just across the board. And if yeah, see here. I'm not sure exactly what that is, Fred, about disabled traveler assistance, but okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Jesse Michael, still in Louisville. How many people actually stayed an extra day? I was asking, but I think probably 2 minutes before you got on. Um, how many people actually stayed an extra day besides the people who are local? Because I know for a fact I would have. That's not a question. I definitely would have. Um, yeah, it just the only reason I didn't come was very simple. I just don't. I just saw it. Yeah, it wasn't about time. Grand solar minimum thing. No, I have not heard about this. Yeah. And guys, just for reference, like as far as travel, this year was my first, like what I would consider like a true American travel, as in like true travel through the USA. Um, of course, I've been throughout the USA off and on, but this is my first like true like trip that I could be like, this was a travel through US. Like I've done these things where I've went 12 hours away and came back after a week. This was a few months, and I went to 41, 42 states. Um, and so yeah, this is my first like true U.S. travel. So I actually have not a ton of footage from it. I know it's kind of crazy because like I have a YouTube channel. Why didn't I take a lot more footage? Uh, it was partly because it's partly purpose driven and I wanted to enjoy it, but I definitely could make some videos on it. At least, I mean, I could definitely make some videos on it. And I actually have a little bit of the footage, about an hour of footage in an editor. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. This is mostly like, I don't know. This is like things I stopped at and stuff. None of it has like an exact purpose to it. So it'd kind of be like a story time thing, I guess. And the same for like my trips in Peru, because my when I was in Peru, that was before I had a YouTube channel, and I didn't really have a thought of it. Plus, I lost a lot of footage back in 2018, no 17, 18, 18. I lost a lot of footage, unfortunately. That was before my channel. Sorry, 18. I meant 17. Again, 17. 17. So like October 17. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway. Uh, I'm not gonna get into political topics, but I guarantee you Portland is pretty safe. Like you will not have to worry about safety here. I mean, I can't guarantee specifically your safety. I can't guarantee anyone's specific experience, but I mean, as a generic whole, it's a very safe city. On a normal day, it just I can't imagine really something happening to someone unless I just yeah. Like I feel completely safe here. That's part of the reason why I moved here. So I really wouldn't worry about that, guys. In my personal opinion, I mean, I yeah, it's like if I was in California or something, yeah, I could see like if I was in LA or something, like be careful, guys. But I just don't feel Portland's like anything notable when it comes to safety. So I really wouldn't be worried about it. I mean, of course, do your normal, you know, things for safety. Watch your bags. Watch your back a little bit. Always watch your back. Not to say be paranoid, but know where you are. Know where you are, what you're doing, see people around you. And generally should be fine. You don't have to be like, but just be like, like you cross when you cross the street, you look both ways. Common sense. Just watch yourself. That's all. That's simple. I don't feel like it's anything like it's not like a dangerous city by any means. I don't think. I wouldn't. No. I don't think really anywhere in Washington or Oregon is like that unsafe. Not that I've seen. I'm sure there's some city or some specific neighborhood or something. Like in Charlotte, I remember, for example, there was like no place I was like, this is dangerous. And like I'm talking about actual Charlotte, like there was like no neighborhood. I was like, don't go there. That's not a. I don't really feel that was the thing. I don't feel like I haven't seen all of Portland to that extent, but so far I haven't seen any neighborhood that was just like, ooh. I don't know, man. It's unfortunate. Like, it's Yeah, I just don't want to get into politics. I'm sorry. It's just yeah. It's a whole nother niche and a whole nother thing. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I'm staying away from that one. But I just know from my personal experience, I've been in Washington, Oregon for what was it? I mean, like I'm talking about like total time when I include like my trip here when I returned and stuff. This year, a couple months, and I've never felt in danger one single time. Like even the crosswalks and stuff, they feel pretty safe. Like people follow the rules. And of course, probably didn't want to make it during a festival or something, unless it's a festival that like I could just see just about anyone enjoying. Like oh, I think they have a rose festival and a tea festival. That that actually just huh. I have Wandering Tea Apprentice as my other channel, which I'm editing some videos for it now. I know it's not very many videos coming out. I understand that, guys, but the reason is just I'm there's certain equipment I want, and I've just been delaying and delaying it because I just don't have the equipment, and I'm trying to learn some stuff. So like, I have a kombucha video that I made. I'm just checking like a lot of facts about it before I try to put something out there that might not be correct. Like, I know my videos aren't going to be 100% correct no matter how hard I try, but I try to put out a video where the facts are as correct as I can get within reason. Um, and this part of the reason I called it Wandering Tea Apprentice, because I don't want to sound authoritative in that like, hey, this is the fact. It's not just about that, but I kind of want to have like an experience, just kind of like this is my personal experience going up, and then once maybe in a couple years, once I like really start to know stuff, then I can say stuff, with a little more confidence. But um, or maybe in a year, even next year, I can say things with a little more confidence. But I kind of want to make it kind of like a journey rather than just a presentation. Like, this is how I got my first kombucha. Then you guys can see like maybe next year, once it's like I really got it going, and it's like, oh, you look how much better it is, and I realize like this flavor is better because blah 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 whatever. That kind of stuff. I kind of want to make it an experience, like a journey along with me. That's kind of my current like view on that. I kind of want to have my own unique take on it, and a lot of channels aren't going to put that perspective. Like, they're going to teach you about matcha, but I want to show you the experience of learning about matcha. Like, oh, you need this foundational thing and all this stuff. Yeah, matcha is green tea, which is shade grown and ground, basically. Okay, so anyway, the okay, I was wondering. 3 months. That's cool. Xeno. Let's see here if I got all the things closed for as far as sound goes. Yeah, I plan to have soundproofing in maybe a month or two. because I want to have just a nice echo and all that. So I don't know. For me, audio is the most important thing to me right now. But I really haven't made any upgrades except getting a lavalier so far. But you guys will see. Hopefully, in maybe October or whatever it is. Sport, out of town sports jerseys. Oh, well, I mean isn't that anywhere? Like, there's sport rivalry. I think that's like a pretty much a global thing. I mean, I don't know. I just don't. I don't wear sports jerseys in the first place, so I don't have that issue. But I mean, yeah. And I would imagine it's much more important whether you wear out of town sports jersey if it's because a lot of people wear things maybe in a pursuit of kind of showing it to people, like like if someone confronts them, maybe they'll. Well, anyway, I won't get into all that, but yeah. Anyway, it just depends on the person, how you carry yourself, how you carry yourself, It's I've had to deal with a lot of situations going throughout, I'm going to call it 4 years of travel abroad, even though in Japan I was living on base, but I was going out just about every single week. I mean, there's very few weeks I didn't go out. And I had weeks, like days off and stuff, and so on. So yeah, I was out quite a bit. So I'm gonna count that as 2 years of travel anyway for that. And either way, on base has its own kind of culture and stuff to it too. Its own whole thing. So anyway, that plus a couple of years to travel on my own, and you got a lot of different experiences I've had to deal with. Things like trains being canceled, which is extremely rare in Japan to have major transportation difficulties. However, it's happened where a train shut down once, and and then I only had so much time to get back, and the train's down. It's like, okay, and then you have to problem solve. So how do you get through that situation? Like, imagine if you have 30 minutes to be somewhere, like you absolutely have to be there, like it's like the birth or something of or something like that. Is like you can't miss it. And then yeah, it's like how do you problem solve that, especially if you're in a different country. It's like, and you have to learn how to deal with people and do with it effectively, rapidly. And that's what a lot of travel is. You have to get a lot of these experiences. And so um it's just, you're going to encounter that traveling, but at the same time, it's part of developing memories, developing character, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's an amazing thing. So I would in general. I mean, I've went to cities where it's like that's dangerous. You shouldn't go there. And it's like, well, I did, and I'm fine. You know, so it's not that it's gonna turn out right for everyone. It might turn out right or wrong for someone, and I can't deny that. But as a general whole, the chance of something specifically happening to you on any particular day or anything, even if you go through a dangerous neighborhood, typically nothing's gonna happen to you. And people are like, oh, if I go through this one neighborhood, something's gonna happen to you. I've been through those neighborhoods, and it's like, I'm sorry, but generally you carry yourself in a certain way, or you go around the neighborhood or something, you get out of the issue. And it's like just go around the other block, you know, and you can still get where you're going. You just don't go straight, you know. Because I know there's been streets that I'm like, mm, think I'll go on the highway. That's one thing that's sometimes safer. Instead of going the through the actual town, go through the highway. Maybe it's generally safer, especially if there's a lot of vehicles or something. You know, just knowing how to go through. I mean, look at CT. CT's fine, I think. Well, CT's okay. Well, okay. CT's trying to be okay. He's been everywhere. I'm just messing. All right, so let's see here. You guys are talking a lot about Philly. Hold on. I don't know on that Fred about any of the rules on arms specifically. Who that time? All right. See, Jesse probably already left, but because you messaged that a couple minutes ago. But here. I'm just reading up. So, all right. So, Philly. You like Philly? Okay. Oh, and for reference, guys, I'm not planning to go live on Wandering Tea Apprentice as nobody specifically asked about it. I figured that, based on last week where I had a grand total of one person come during the entire 30 minutes I was live or 20 minutes, whatever it was, and they came for all of a couple of minutes, and I believe they either left one or zero comments. I think it was zero comments during the 20 minutes, so I decided I'm not going to go live on that for a while until I build an audience that is loyal to tea. Once I get some tea enthusiasts on there, where I can get at least 3 or 4 of them on there and get some interaction actually going about tea, I'm probably gonna wait until I have a 500 or whatever it is that I can build that kind of audience. So hopefully I'll be able to start going live on that in a couple months. Same as the vending. I don't think I'm going to be going live on that anytime soon, unless I get specific interviews. I'm hoping to get some specific people, not interviews per se. I guess collaborations with certain vending people. If I can do that, and then I might go live. And I don't see myself getting any lives with any tea people because a lot of them are companies and so on that make these tea channels, or they're kind of off and on channels a lot of times or something. So I don't see very many tea channels at all that are regular uploaders. Can I even think of one? I mean, there's ones that upload twice a week, but not on any consistent basis and all that kind of stuff. There's just about no tea channels that are super consistent. So it's kind of a different niche on that. It's kind of it's if you were to be a niche of food, and then you're to go even more niche and say I'm going to do beverages, and then you're going to go even more niche and only do specific type of tea or something, that's that's gets really niche. So though it's a very big small niche, I know that sounds kind of like backwards, but contradicting. But basically, what I mean by that is that you know of the beverages of the world, it's the most popular beverage besides water. And so, even though it's very specific, it's also very big. That's what I mean. Because a lot of people aren't going to be enthusiastic about tea. They might have some like bags of tea that they have, and they drink it maybe 5 days a week, and that's about it. But they don't know about it or have a passion about it. So, whereas a lot of people have a passion about eating, so it's kind of a little different. But I could be wrong. I'm sure I can find if I had access to 100 million people, I'm sure I could find that a million of them would love to watch something about tea. Hey Eddie Chan, how you doing? Got a lot of short comments here. Hold on. Plus 3 slices. Fargo, eh? Yeah. Mm, I went to Pittsburgh like twice in the last year. Yeah. Year as in 365 days, not as in 2019. How's the kombucha? It's doing really well. Do you guys want to see it? Actually, I'm posting. Like I said, I have videos in editor. I don't want to say what when I'm posting exactly, though. So the main reason, like, it's kind of why I don't have any kombucha videos coming out lately is because I didn't want to put the video up before I fully knew what I was putting up. I want to be a little more confident on it first, and so that's kind of the reason for the delay. And because I was trying to look at my specific SCOBY, it's just not acting the way a super standard one would because it's at the bottom and such. So I was just like, I was just a little, you know, disconcerted about is it okay or what. And I've come to the conclusion that it's fine. It's maybe weak right now, in that it needs to basically gain strength. That's kind of the conclusion I've come to based on watching a bunch of videos on kombucha and reading a couple articles. So, and looking at a bunch of pictures because there's like pictures, with this is this could be with mold, this could be with that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Anyway, so and then I have another kombucha. It's not. A lot of people say it's kombucha, but it doesn't act. To me, it's not actually kombucha. It's just a different fermented tea. Now, I'll give you guys a peek on this. It's very different. So this is not something you're going to find around. It's called Jun. It's basically the same concept of how it works. Let me see. I'm glad you're well, Eddie Chan. Um, at Disney World, are you serious? That's awesome. Is it near UV light? No, it's not near UV light. No, you're not supposed to have it near sunlight. So, and UV is meant to basically imitate that. As far as that goes, I have it in a cupboard. So I'll give you guys a peek at it real quick. So I have two videos coming out. Here's a peek. The video did not cut out. Don't worry, guys. So I said peek. I'm not going to give you a good view. But that's kombucha. See how it's sitting on the bottom? But you can see all the stuff on the bottom there too. I believe a lot of that is yeast, and also it's actually forming a whole nother layer but on the bottom, which I thought was really weird because that is not standard. Usually it's on the top. Though you can see the suds, or the kind of like foam. But this has only been a few days, and it's grown like crazy. I know you guys didn't see the original size, but yeah. That's Jun. It's basically, it's with green tea and honey instead of with black tea. It's called the champagne of kombuchas. And so it also ferments faster and so on. But I have a video on that, so you guys can watch that. I don't want to give away too much. Because I want you guys to actually see the video, right? I'm going to mute this for a moment. All right. City or tap water? What do you mean by that? Do I use city or tap water? Isn't that the same thing? To me, that's the same thing. I could be mistaken, but I don't know. I thought it was the same thing. What's the difference between city and tap water? St. Paul. I almost went to St. Paul a few months ago, but it was during the snow blizzard, and I drove through the snow blizzard. Not recommendable, guys. But I decided I didn't want to be in that any longer than I had to be because I was already in Wisconsin and all that. So I was just like, I literally drove during the blizzard. Roads were closed and stuff, and I went through the roads that weren't closed. Don't recommend it, guys. But anyway, I did that, and so yeah, I didn't get in any issues, so we're all good. But still, okay. So Fred, I have done research on waters for tea, and specific to kombucha as well. Reverse osmosis seems to be better. Now, but you have to put there's another filter that adds minerals back in. That seems to be essential as well, especially symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. Well, they need something to survive on. It's giving more minerals. You get what you give, and people are like, oh, you can just use like cheap stuff when you make this food or that food, and it's like, yes, but you have to eat that at the end of the day. It's like you can use the cheapest cheese and the cheapest this and that, and it might taste better sometimes even, but at the same time, like, do you want to be healthy? Because it's just this is how it works. It's just reality. If you get out the core of the pineapple, well, yeah, it's a harder piece of pineapple, but at the same time, like, you want to lose the benefits of it. is generally considered to be the healthiest part. The pineapple is that core, and a lot of people do keep the core because a lot of people don't know how to get out the core, or they don't have a device for it, so that's good. So CT has a video on Casey's, guys. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was totally there during December through March time. Absolutely. Uh, I'm very familiar with the Wisconsin, Minnesota area though. I was there for some years, so I realize this definitely. So yeah. It was about the time frame because yeah, it was just about the time frame because I wanted to do a trip around the U.S. and that's the time that made sense. So either I could have not done it or I could have done it during the winter, and I was like, well, I'm doing it during the winter. So I was what? Because I was planning to go to college and stuff again. So you know, and I was looking at cities, looking at T scene, all that. T scene. What I mean by that is like the kind of like tea stores, kind of you know, I keep saying tea shops, all those kinds of things. Festivals, whatever. If I could find any, I didn't find any tea festivals that were active, of course, on during that time of the year. But any type of event, you never know. Got to look at things because there might not be something about tea, but there could have been something about herbal remedies or something that I could have found. I didn't find any specific that were going on during my trip that I was able to go through, but I was able to see some cool stuff. I didn't do a lot of super touristic stuff during my 42 state travel. I was kind of was part of the reason I was able to go through as fast as I was just in a few months. I did do some touristic things though. Triple reverse osmosis, okay. But even April this year wasn't even, it was still snowing, wasn't it? AK Fabe? I think it was like until May almost this year. Like they had some snow still in April, I think. Right, an AK Fabe. Yeah, it might be something to check out. I'm planning to. I really want my own tea location, but I plan to start online first because I've talked to people and they just said wholesale, wholesale, wholesale. Okay, okay, wholesale. Like literally, I spend time after time to like, you need to start online. You need to start online, and these aren't just like some people or some people who know business. These are like actual like tea people, and they're like, you should start online. And I was like, okay, like there's pretty much a consensus. Don't start a cafe. Start online. And also, there was a guy in Bulgaria. Hopefully, I can connect with him a little better. He was awesome. He just really really knows green tea. Like I mean, he really knows green tea. Very very specifically green tea. And I just want to connect with him. And anyway, there's niches within niches, right? But anyway, that was my anyway, yeah. thought that Wash an event for tea. Yeah, I don't know. I think that yeah, I would like to have my own tea location, but not yet. It's just too soon. I'm not ready for it. At the end of the day, that's what it is. I also plan to have some other things with with my vending business and all that, and they might even end up being the same business. Who knows? But at this point, I'm just not to that extent where I exactly know yet. Just like I'm close. I'm close. I just don't quite know yet. I should have a business start in January is the goal for as far as vending machines, and then maybe a few months later I'll have tea, or maybe things will work out a little better and I'll be able to start a little sooner. That'd be awesome. I don't think I want to design my own website because I've looked into that quite a bit. I just don't think I want to do it. I want to spend a few $1,000s, have someone build one for me. I might do maintenance myself or something, and have actual. I mean, not maintenance. I mean, I say like where upload and stuff, like update myself, not maintain, like in that kind of way, like with the coding and all that. We'll see. I think I want to I don't want to be under some platform or something. I want my own actual website, like a legit one, and then also I could maybe even have two websites, one for like tea and one for everything else, or I don't know, maybe I can combine them, whatever. We'll see how it works. But I definitely should be there tomorrow. Okay, J and K. J and K, approximately how many pounds is it? Is it under 5 pounds or is it over? Like I don't need to know exactly by any means, but is it something I could carry in a backpack? Is my I guess my question. Could I carry it in a normal, like you would think of like a standard school backpack? Cause I might bike there. Like, not that is it big or heavy for it. I'm not exactly worried about. Just will it actually fit? Black sheep pizza. Corner gas. Saskatchewan. So the $14 PO box. I'm not sure what you mean by it's the $14 PO box. I don't have a PO box, just for reference, guys. If you think you have to send USPS, you do not. It is I can receive from any company. It's not through the postal service, through the U.S. Postal Service. So you can send through UPS or whatever. You can even take it there yourself and be like, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if you can deliver things there. I've never thought about that. Interesting idea though. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure they would probably accept it anyway. I mean, I don't see why not. I guess I don't know. They might call me out. I don't know how it works. It will fit in a backpack, I'm sure. Okay, that's what I care about. So I might be able to. Well, maybe not tomorrow actually, because I was thinking about that. Maybe I could do it as soon as Tuesday. We'll see if it's practical for me or not. Yeah, maybe I can do it as soon as Tuesday, and then I can maybe go again on the 26th, or I'll wait till September 1st around. The internet way. is going on here? What are you guys talking about? Like, there's so much context, like, I missed. Suddenly a blizzard. I did actually drive in Canada this year as well. I'm sorry, last year. I drove in Canada last year. Or was it this year? Last year. They don't know I'm already confused. Why am I wrong? Anyway. So, how do you guys feel about Sundays? As for what are your guys' opinion on doing Sunday lives? It seems like it's been pretty consistent for me that Sunday's been the best. Is there any other day in specific you guys would want me to go live, or does it seem about right? Because there's not many people on, and I definitely get the best viewership. However, I haven't tried all times, you know. Anyway, guys, I have to find a Guinness record to break as well. Like, I love Guinness. Look at this. This isn't too long ago. I got this like Christmas 2015. That's not that long ago. You know, I'm gonna look through those. Maybe maybe I'm gonna look through all the records. You know, all the records that pertain to being possible. I can't physically be different. You know, I can't make myself 8 foot tall and become the tallest man or something. But but I could do other things. Take care, everyone. See you, old man. Sunday's cool. Yeah, I think pretty secure on Sunday then. And having a schedule, I think, also helps because I'm getting better viewership this time as well. How many of you came knowing I was going to be live? Like, you already thought I was going to be live? That also would be very difficult in kayfabe because if you're not super tall, it's really hard as well to do that, you know. I think that sounds like an extremely difficult record, actually, at kayfabe, because just about anyone can achieve 300 pounds as long as they're not having like heart problems or something. I could probably achieve that, or achieve, or however you want to call that. But to get to like whatever it is, 570 or whatever it is, you know, that is not. I don't think the average person can make it there. Don't think I would make it, to be quite realistic with you. I don't think I could eat myself to the weight to actually make it. And I might not live much longer. So I don't know about that one. And I think it'd be hard to live stream because I wouldn't be able to. It just don't think it'd be very easy at all. Came for a ration review. Well, I'm actually planning to finally. I know I've been talking about this for a long time, and it's going to be in Spanish. Sorry, but I'm actually going to do one more ration review. I mean, unless someone sends me a ration, I'm not doing any more rations for the meanwhile. I know someone's eventually gonna send me one, so I'm gonna do them then. But I'm gonna definitely do civilian ones though on my own. But I'm talking as far as like military and stuff. But anyway, until then, this is Fuerza Armadas, so the Spanish ration. I'm going to do that one. Probably for dinner tonight because I actually, yeah, I'm running low on fresh ingredients at the moment, so it makes sense to use it now. Because I had like a chicken I had to use up. I had a whole chicken. I was eating chicken and chicken and chicken yesterday. Like so much chicken. Like I was just like I had 3 chicken meals yesterday. Well, and then I had eggs this morning. Funny enough, but it's still a little different. So yeah, I had chicken like I want to say 5 times in the last. Not including today, but the last 2 days I had chicken about 5 times, and then I had eggs this morning. So kind of, I guess you can count that as well, potentially. So. But thank you again so much, J&K, for sending that. And I know Luke North sent me some canned bread, and I don't know of anyone sending me anything else. So I'm only, there might be something hopefully still extra, an extra surprise in there. Who knows? But yeah. If not everything fits securely in the backpack, I'll take what I can. And if I have to leave an item, I have to leave an item, unfortunately. I will do my very best to not make that the case. Actually, I can take a secondary backpack with me, because you can use a front backpack, but I don't know how safely, but... Well, actually, you know what? I didn't... I'll have a bike, but I won't have all the, like, chain and stuff, and... I might not be able to do it this week. We'll see. I might end up walking there, guys. If I walk there, I can pretty much take like 50 pounds. I can walk home with 50 pounds. I can do that. They don't have any like military rucksacks anymore, unfortunately, but I think I could do like 50 pounds or something. So. I had no idea how much is there. It might be like, oh, one person sent me something, or, oh, 10 people sent me something. Who knows? I have no idea. Could have got a letter. Someone's like, hey, wandering veteran, hi. I don't know what you guys sent. Reverie ID, thanks. What? Oh, everybody. Thanks, and be careful out there. Thanks, classy lady. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, so again, guys, I'm going to find a Guinness record that's actually practical to break, and I'm going to have to look for a lot of them that are practical, because I need to narrow down and see, okay, one might be practical, but one might be actually feasible, like to do sooner or something, or maybe there's 2 records I can go for, and maybe I don't succeed in one of them. Like I put a best effort, I spend $500 and I end up losing, or someone beats it like 1 month later. Who knows? But there's a review process, so it's not like instantaneous. Do that, and if you want to get it reviewed faster and stuff, there's certain processes to that. But yeah. You know what, AKFabe, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Go for it. No one's stopping you from saying hi. You should go ahead and do it. And I will, if you put a letter that says hi, I'll put it up on stream. If that's all it says, and I'll put it there. You know, like I said, guys, as long as the fan mail is not something ridiculous, like, so as long as it's appropriate to show, I'm gonna show it. Like, it's fine. I mean, unless you specifically ask me not to put it on live, that's fine too. I mean, if it's just like I don't know, some people just might not want to have it on video, and that's fine. I'll respect that. You know, I plan to respect that. So, you know, like if you send a book and you're like, don't put this on live, I'm like, okay. Or maybe you don't want your name out there, or whatever. You know, whatever. It's fine. Whatever you want to do, but just as long as it's appropriate to show, it's not like something that's not adult or something. Can't spill. It was that big. ZT. Maybe I should have come there just to do a bottle flip for you guys. Do my signature shake where I go like this instead of like. I don't think I can really flip this type of bottle too well. I don't think it'll end up very well at all. If there's more meetups in future, I plan better to go. I have no idea what you mean by that AK fame. I kind of get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, I don't know effectively what you're trying to say. If there's more meetups in future, okay, if there are more meetups in the future, I better plan to go. Okay, so you're saying you're convicted in the thought of going. Is that what you're saying? Like, I will plan better ahead of time. So, okay. You will plan better. Okay, got it. Got it. Okay. Well, AK Fabe, I do, like I said, maybe half a year ago. See, I know you weren't. Well, I don't think you were watching me half a year ago, were you? I know you weren't. You weren't watching me last year. Anyway. Yeah. So I do plan to have my own meetup going in next year. Going sometime next year. There might be free place I can do it, and or like really cheap or an affordable place, and maybe I could get that going this year. And even if it's gonna be a smaller meetup, like if I say, hey, let's meet in November, and guys will be like, it's only a couple months. Well, I don't expect everyone to come, and then I could be like, we'll have this one in November, just really local, and then I'll have another one next year just to get the ball rolling, and get some experience. And I think I might be okay with just having 5 people come. That would be fine, I think, with me at this point, just to get the ball rolling. And next year I plan to have a bigger audience. It's really awesome experience to meet people. I met CT, I met Jordan, J&K Noob. I met Fred Thorne. I met see here, and that's, I know he's not actually per se a reviewer, but he's definitely within the niche in his own way via the comments. I met uh, Tracy Phillips. Huh. Yeah. So I haven't met a ton of people, but I mean, CT, Tracy, Fred. There you go. So it definitely counts for something. That's a few people from various parts of the country. Actually, exactly from various parts, because you got the east, west, and center. So there you go. That's a good yeah, that's a good variety. Oh, and I met Easy Money as well. So I got a good portion of the country. Now, Easy Money, I'll probably meet again. You got. I'm hoping you guys see him on a video again this year. We'll see. I mean, not that he was in one of my videos yet, but we'll see. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Wait, there was a Canadian reviewer meetup, Smitty. So it means 33% of the people that actually signed up actually went, or what do you mean by that? AK Fabe. So there's a couple reasons. Sometimes people have extra accounts that they might sign up with. Another is that some people, I'm just, some people don't like hearing this, and I understand, but some people don't like the specific content that one person might put out. So I'll use myself for example, not yourself, but some people aren't going to like what I do, and I understand that. I don't have certain things. I don't have certain technology. I don't have the best music. I don't have. I don't like my thumbnails yet. I'm just saying this straightforward. I don't like my thumbnails. I plan to redo all my thumbnails, or maybe I'll keep a few because I feel a few of them are probably fine. Like they make sense. They work, and but I might even edit those ones just to polish them up or something. I do plan to go through all 120 thumbnails. It's like 118, whatever it is now. And just redo all of them. I don't like those. And thumbnails and title are massive importance. Massive. Like I didn't realize how much until. I mean, I just have the perfect example. My first vending channel video, a guy Jaime made my thumbnail for me. Best thumbnail I have in the vending channel. It just, and I got more views. It literally affects your views how good your thumbnail is, and then title as well. And tags of course matter as well, but everything matters. But at the end of the day, like when someone actually sees your video, you can have the coolest picture, and then it could say just something. Even it might even be a popular keyword like dog or cat, because literally there's people who go online just to watch cat videos or dog videos or hamster videos, whatever. Literally their sole purpose on being on YouTube, and that's just how it is. And you could literally title it dog, and that literally means nothing. And there's probably a million videos that have the word dog in it. Probably more than a million, actually, now I think about it. But anyway, what if you put tallest dog ever or something like that? That might get some attention, and yeah, big deal. But as far as viewership goes, not everyone. I'm saying about me. Not everyone's going to like me. Not everyone, and it's for a multitude of reasons. For whatever thing, and it's just just how it works. And some people are gonna come and go. Some people might like a very specific video you do, and they'll be like, oh, I gotta see this channel, and then they realize like that was a one-time thing that you did. Like you reviewed Russian, like I reviewed Russian snacks. Maybe some of those people, a lot of those people are never going to watch my channel again. I did get people from there, that watch me now, but the vast majority are not going to watch me again. It was awesome. LAB's got a bunch of people there, and that is awesome. But I know the majority of those people are not going to come back, and I saw my number jump, and then of course, in the next 3 days, it fell quite a lot. And that's just how it works with shout outs and things like that, especially when you can't captivate them to stay. Like I felt the Russian snack video beyond just getting the attention it did during the moment. I think it was actually one of my stronger videos just because it was fun, colorful. I had all these different colors of food and stuff. It was visually appealing, and there's just got a different flow to it than most of my other videos. Even though I do a lot of food reviews, that was different. And I have some. I wasn't able to edit this on my phone because I tried and tried, but I do have a couple videos from 2017 that I'm. Yes, from way back then. Way back then. It was sorry, yeah, 2017. Yeah, it was like November 17th. I think this was before I even had a YouTube channel. I mean, well, I had one video on there, but before I was like before I was actually making videos. So anyway, I didn't really know that much Spanish and stuff then. I learned a ton in, I'm saying 17, but yeah. Yeah, I learned a lot of Spanish in April 18. So my Spanish wasn't nearly as good because I had been to Peru 2.5 months. I had been to Mexico a couple months at that point and stuff. So anyway, I did some like Mexican like slang and Mexican foods. So Mexican Spanish slang and foods, and so some cool videos coming out. Anyway, that's my point. And people are going to look at those certain videos and they're gonna like them more or less. Or like specific events. Oh, another good one is Mr. Beast. Perfect example there. His videos are so awesome. His thumbnails are always, always good. I don't think there's any bad thumbnails within. I'm not talking about his old videos; those are totally different. But since he became Mr. Beast, as people know him, all his thumbnails are awesome. His videos are awesome, and they attract more views than his subscriber count. So that means a lot of people go there for that specific video, and they might not even watch again. A lot of people are going to watch your videos that aren't even subscribed as well, and a lot of people don't comment. So it's kind of hard to know that you get 150 views, and it says in analytics and stuff, but you might notice that 30% of the people who watch your video might not be even subscribed. Like I saw for the Coke video I did yesterday, it was actually, I was surprised. A lot of the people are not subscribed that watch that video. Like, let me check the stats on that right now, like as of the moment. Yeah. Anyway, it's a significant portion. Smitty, I use a $10 meme week for mine. Me with my mother. Nice. Could use over edit. Is that a program? I do have a new editor. I've only put one video on there through there so far. Though I do have a few videos like the Mexican slanging candy one. I might make that into 2 videos. I have to. The footage is so old and stuff that it's kind of like got jumbled around. Like I don't know if I have all the clips and stuff. And I was trying to look for the one on my phone. I think I lost the portion that was on my phone. I think I lost that. Because I had like 2 camera angles, and unfortunately, I lost a lot of footage, as I said back in. Well, no, that wasn't even the case. I don't know. Anyway, maybe I can find the footage. I'm still looking for it. Yeah. It's so old that kind of not fresh in my head. So anyway, I'm switching to it's called Lightworks, and then I'm going to switch to Adobe later on. Adobe. Yeah, some people are gonna go away in kayfabe, but sometimes that's a good thing because sometimes you have to lose a little bit of something to gain a little bit of something, and that's fine. And there's some people, kind of like the nostalgia with Coca-Cola. There are people. It doesn't matter. You could literally make this very objectively better. You can modernize it, use ingredients that were almost impossible to find back then, or because back in the 1800s, getting certain ingredients would be so hard. Even today, there's certain countries, with lateral agreements and blah blah blah. There's certain foods that are very hard to get, even to this date. But imagine the 1800s. So you can objectively make it a better recipe, and people that's the whole thing. Like what I did with the new Coke video is that it might literally be better. New Coke was better per taste test, and people literally argue that it tasted worse, but it was debatably in their head. It's hard to say on that specific person because for some people it literally probably wasn't as good. But it's some people had this kind of already sentimental value to it, and so if someone's been drinking something for like even a month already, like I had a Vault energy drink. I really like that energy drink, and if you were to reintroduce it, I would like to see the original Vault. I would be willing to maybe transfer over to a better version of Vault, but I would like to see the original one first before I make any decision. And it might sound silly, but I mean, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and anyway, it's the same thing that goes. Some people are looking to become like kind of loyal, and they're gonna follow you no matter what, or some people are going to follow you based on what you did before. But sometimes you need to take a risk in order to make things go forward, and it's just how it is in reality. So I mean, there's no exact answer because if I knew the answer, I would be at 1 million subscribers right now. So I'm obviously not. But I mean, even if it could literally happen even if I don't know what the best answer is because sometimes you just get lucky. You know, it's hard to say. Right. They like familiarity, but at the same time, if it's a non-subscriber and you do really awesome video, like I don't know, you have like a really really awesome cat video you want to put up, like it's actually amazing, and maybe it doesn't matter that it has absolutely nothing to do with your niche because it is literally that good. That's a very big risk because it might not be popular at all. You might get 100 views. You might get 20 views. Not that 10,000 you were hoping for, or 100,000 you were hoping for. But you get 500 more subscribers, and guess what? Now you're getting somewhere. And even if a lot of people don't like your new content, either you switch over or, some people are still going to, even though they looked at you for cat videos, they might like food also. So it's just kind of how it works. It's not is not. There's no direct path. Vault was good, yeah. I'm actually planning to get that for next month. I would AK Fave. I would do that immediately. If you're going to do the Impossible Whopper, do it immediately. Why do I say this? Because it's trending now. The longer you wait, the worse views you're gonna get. It's not an exact fact that you're gonna get worse views because of that, but it is just when things are trending, you do it immediately. Like if I were to do that taco from Burger King right now, the chances are I would get 10%, 20% less views. I didn't Not that I got a ton of views, but the videos right next to it got less views than it did. It got more views. It got like 20% more views. So, and views right next to it. So there you go. I would highly recommend that. And I did it in Spanish on top of that. So I don't know if some people came for the novelty or some people got a little. I have some Spanish speakers who actually watch my channel, but I think a lot of them were just random non-subscribers. But I found a way to get in that trending at the moment, and part of mine was to do it in Spanish. Yeah, give your take. Give it good tags. The tags. So yeah, you definitely want to get the tags. Get that trending going. So trending videos, don't wait on those. That's one thing I can say with some fair confidence. When something's trending, go for it. Right. That's highly what I recommend. AK Fabe. Don't wait. If you wait a week, like I said, you might get 20% less views. If you're gonna do it, just go for it. Now, there's other types of videos that can wait, and let them wait. you know, like if you do like for example something that's like a menu that's already been done, or one thing like part of the reason why I'm not doing so many MREs is I've just realized 30 people have done every single MRE that I'm talking about. If it's like 2,000 or above, there's at least 10 videos on every single menu item. So it's just like you can't make fresh content on that, and it can wait. It's really hard. That's part of the reason why I'm switching out. Cause it's just less, a lot of competition, a lot of people with bigger numbers, and they're not trending or anything like that. So yeah. Anyway. Did everyone else go away? Why am I talking so much? Yes. Other people did go away. I dropped about 2/3 in the last half hour in viewership. So probably going to get off in the next 12 minutes unless my numbers jump back up. So I think it's UNCT and Smitty. And then there's what I've come to learn is that there are certain people who do watch me and they just don't comment. I was talking to someone yesterday. I was like, I didn't think you'd watch me. Like you do? Like are you really do? I'm like, what? Just what? And then yeah, I know of 2 people who watch me that never comment, and that's their prerogative. They don't want to comment. That's fine. But this is just how it works. When you get 120 views on a video, you're not going to get 120 comments. It's just like the probability is just relative zero. It's relatively zero. You're not going to get 120 comments from 120 individuals. Maybe 30% are going to comment or something like that, or it just depends on how. I've noticed that's one thing with comments too, is it's generally going to be your more loyal people or brand new people that are going to comment a lot of times, but it just kind of depends. I mean, that's another thing, user engagement. So give them a reason to comment, because that actually helps your video grow as well. That comment section helps you grow. I would even suspect people who comment are more likely, probably double likely, I'm making that up, to actually hit the like button. If they're willing to type out, they're probably willing to hit the like. So I think user engagement is helpful. I didn't realize, yeah. There are absolutely people who are going to watch you and you're never going to know it. And then some people, you can actually see who's subscribed to you, but you can only see them if they have it enabled for you to see them. So you can see some of your subscribers, like actually who they are.